Hello and good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, May 6th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, for the second day in a row, residents in a community near Fort Washington can't go home. That is because crews are working to repair a road and get utilities back up and running in an area where a slope collapsed. CTV has been on the scene throughout the day, and here's the latest on what's going on. It's an anxious day for residents in a Fort Washington community waiting to get back into their homes.
Come late Sunday afternoon, we were advised that it'd probably be best that you leave.
James Roy and people in 27 other houses were forced to evacuate from a hillside on Piscataway Drive because the slope has given way after last week's heavy rain, causing part of the road to collapse and interrupting water, sewer, and electric service.
Because the trees were down and the road was cracked even further. So the slide had started occurring, in which trees were coming down, knocking out the power lines, and then the road was unpassable.
Crews from various agencies are now trying to assess the situation.
The condition of the hill impacts what WSSC can do to replace their pipes, which impacts what the Department of Works and Transportation has to do to replace the road. So we have a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It was that slope failure was very major, as you probably seen down there.
But some residents say it isn't the first time there have been problems with the stability of the road and question whether this is going to be just another quick fix.
And again, that's why all that work being done today, especially the work by the geologists in terms of understanding the nature of that slope and what has to be done, both short-term and long-term.
Until the repairs are made, the Red Cross is offering those affected temporary places to stay. And they've also set up this resource center with food and water at Harmony Hall Regional Center. That's where we found James Roy and several others waiting, hoping for news that they can go home sooner rather than later.
I think at this point, we're just looking for answers on a plan to get things done.
Now, in terms of a timeline, officials there are saying there is no definite time frame in which all of that work is expected to be done, so they are telling residents to be patient. Meanwhile, the Resource Center at Harmony Hall is expected to remain open for residents as long as there is a need, according to the spokesman for the county executive's office. MGM National Harbor got some news today, but some are questioning whether it's also good for residents of Prince George's County and its minority-owned businesses. The council voted 5-4 for an amended bill that allows MGM to move forward without a community agreement in place until construction is complete. Opponents were pushing for the original bill that would have forced MGM to have an agreement in place before construction could begin.
To enact a watered-down version today before MGM responds not only lets them off the hook, but would also constitute a betrayal to your constituents who, in voting to bring this gaming facility to the county, entrusted you to put procedures in place to hold the developer accountable.
Well, I think that, like the chairman said, there's some misinformation out there. CB7 is not the community benefits agreement. CB7 is just a bill that allows the council to comment on the community benefits agreement. So I think that the people who spoke, MGM, we agree with them. We want an opportunity for minorities to be able to participate. We agree with that, and there's plenty of opportunities. There are plenty of outreach mechanisms set up right now, and so the answer is no, they're not wrong. It's just a matter of making sure they have the communication. The communication works with us.
MGM feared the original measure could have delayed the project.
Gubernatorial candidate Anthony Brown proposes a new jobs plan that includes additional investments and a review of business taxes. Brown says the four-year, $112 million package of initiatives is intended to boost employment in the state.
Ken Allman and I, my runner mate, and I propose a 5-point job creation plan. And that starts with investments in infrastructure, and not just roads and rails, but schools, affordable housing, broadband. It's those kinds of jobs that put Marylanders back to work, and they support growing economies and expanding communities. But we're also going to continue our investments in education so that we can train the workforce for those in-demand jobs, whether those jobs are in cybersecurity or whether they're in construction, ensuring that Marylanders are well-educated, well-trained, and well-skilled and equipped to fill those jobs.
Brown spoke with CTV News at Charles Carroll Middle School, where he was visiting educators during Teacher Appreciation Day. Meanwhile, Maryland Attorney General Doug Gansler releases 2 television ads today in his quest for the state's top job. In one of the ads, which will air in Baltimore, Gansler can be seen walking through a school. He tells potential voters that Maryland may have some of the best schools in the nation, but that classrooms shouldn't be staffed based on seniority.
I'll fight to lift up all of our kids. For starters, instead of putting ineffective teachers in classrooms because of seniority, let's put the most effective teachers to work. Skill.
The ad infuriated the Maryland State Education Association, which is endorsing Anthony Brown for governor.
That the Attorney General decided to put an ad out like he did, bashing teachers when it's Teacher Appreciation Week.
His plan to address achievement gap issues really focus on a policy around seniority issues. And what's clear to me is that the Attorney General doesn't understand that those issues are not a matter of state law. In fact, state law is quite clear on this. These issues are to be left up at the local level to be negotiated as a part of the collective bargaining process. And so what the Attorney General is actually advancing is a proposal that would undo collective bargaining. And that's the attack on teachers.
The second ad, called Protect Our Bay, features Gansler walking near the water, and he's talking about his efforts to put pollution controls in place. He's proposing that Maryland release the names of companies that dump waste into the Chesapeake Bay. And staying with local politics, the Montgomery County Council will soon consider a bill that deals with an issue that has also been on the president's agenda recently. County Executive Ike Leggett is sending the council what he calls pay equity legislation. It would require all contractors doing business with the county government to file data that shows how they compensate employees, including by race and gender. The bill also prohibits companies from retaliating against workers who discuss their salaries with one another. Last month, Leggett announced he would introduce the bill on National Equal Pay Day, echoing a call from President Obama to eliminate gaps in salary between men and women with comparable jobs.
Well, Rochelle, police are hoping the community can help locate a missing teen mom and her infant daughter. Authorities say the girl is 14-year-old Ravita Murphy, and her 2-month-old baby's name is Ayana Murphy. The teenager is described as approximately 5 feet and 125 pounds. They were last seen leaving the area of Joyston Way in Upper Marlboro on May 3rd in a gray unknown vehicle. Foul play is not suspected in this disappearance. Anyone with information is asked to call Prince George's County Police on that case. You are watching CTV News. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Coming up.